The instruction of the Lord is perfect, renewing one's life. The testimony of the Lord is trustworthy, making the inexperienced wise. Welcome to another series of the Apostles' Teaching.
Follow me now. You know the way to play for me? Find where I am in the spirit. Produce a sound that is from that place. If you are right, I will confirm it. No, we did not ask him to go into music ministry. I believe he has a conviction that the Lord is doing something with him there. This is how it is there. Find where I am. Make sound from that place. The reason why I asked him to stop was because where he was making sound from was far away from where I was. If I had followed him, I would have known where his mind is. But unfortunately, I stopped him before it occurred to me that I would have followed him. If he's a damsel, I would have tracked the... Are you there? Stay with me? Okay, so now let's use the telescope. He said by faith Enoch was translated, that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him. For before his translation he had a testimony that he pleased God. He had no Bible. There was no praise and worship meeting for him to attend. No preacher to preach to him. And the Bible reveals that he walked with God so intimately that God took him. Do you know what it means to walk with a spirit being? How many of you grew up in a village where you saw Ifa priests, you saw the way they operate in the shrine, you have first hand inside? Have you ever seen a day where the spirit of the shrine arrests somebody? You have seen it? Okay. When you violate the will of a spirit that you have submitted to, the spirit has ways of punishing you. Someone goes to the shrine and his buttocks glues to the stool in the shrine for 2 days as punishment. Because there was a conflict. Most of you, when you are faced with an opportunity to sin, you will be sinning with the knowledge that, yes, when I finish, I will use the blood of Jesus, and I don't want to have one of such records in my life, because I have seen what it will do to you, do to your intimacy with God. Do you know that there's a feeling you will have, it transmits into you to assure you that I trust you? This man had no Bible. I know you pray. There is a difference between praying and the Holy Ghost coming to make demand on you to pray. There's a difference between your own routine prayer and the one that he seizes your peace so that you pray. There's something he wants you to bring to the table, and once you have not yet fulfilled what he's asking you to bring to the table, he will keep you captive in your heart. If you are going to please God, you must be high on the technology of appeasement, because you might just go somewhere, you preach, everybody is excited, they are happy, power moves, but you did something wrong that you don't even know, and you have lost your peace. In traveling to see how long it will take to get your peace back, sometimes a particular time, because he said that after my first degree I shouldn't go to school again. Then I started pastoring people that were working in the university, and they came to me and said, you can be preaching and doing your master's, stuff like that. So I said, okay, go and get the admission. The moment they brought the paper that my name appeared on the list, I lost my peace. And my peace was lost for 1 month. Have you ever been there? Don't try to be there. For 1 month, my peace was. So the person that went and got the admission for me, was in a financial crisis. I said, come. That admission you got for me, I paid though, but I don't want to do the school again. Can you look for a way to collect that money and take it? He said, no problem. Because her husband's elder brother was a senator then. So he went to the bursary and called the senator's name that I came from him. This person doesn't want to do school again. Return his school fees. And they drew up a check that was blank with that amount. She brought it to me and so he drew up a check in my name with that amount. So I went to the bank, withdrew the money and gave her before my peace came back. That was 1 month after he left me. Let my name come out in Harvard. And you know that for that 1 month, I couldn't hear him, I couldn't feel him, I couldn't touch. That means Satan could have cut me off. You know what it means to please the Spirit? That man attained that testimony without a Bible. I was preaching on a crusade in the Federal University, Mina. The souls, the harvest was huge. And I made a statement. Not necessarily, it's not a bad statement. I lost my peace. So I knelt down there. And the keyboard man saw that I was kneeling down. He felt I was worshiping, so he brought one song. He played one tune. I cried. He played. I cried. And then people started crying to God, crying to God, crying to God. Thank God for what they were doing, but don't go now. Then he now came back. I now stood up. Hi. They now say, I'm a spiritual man. What was I discussing with? I called the one that I wanted to the disciple and I told him I made a mistake. So I was pleading. The rest felt I was trying to enter something. I said I made a mistake and I was trying to make it up with God. What use is it to continue talking when you know that he has left? If your heart is not to please him, you will see that power moving and you will see you will see he will see how you like getting people's applause and how you have rated that more important than what you have with him. Enoch was seamless in the act of pleasing God, and God took him. It is because of this sovereign act of God that establishes the doctrine of rapture, the hapazo, in the Bible. And do you know how people will be raptured? They will please God like Enoch. It's very difficult to be raptured. Let me just give you that info. And those Christians that are not raptured, well, the Lord will help us. They will please God like what? Should I tell you something for free? Sometimes it is not sin that will make him walk away. What irritates him was that you behave like a man. Maybe you have a problem with your wife, you analyzed it. Based on your analysis, she's wrong. You even convinced her, she accepted that she's wrong. Then you stand before him and he said, what were you doing there? said, yes, my wife now. See what she did. Then you will open your eyes to see how many times you have done that to him. And he did not take you down. He did not come to demean you. What you were doing was not sinful, it's just that you were operating like a man. And it caught his attention. And he decided to protest. Enoch walked with God. And he was not, because God took him. For before his translation, he left this testimony that he pleased God. That was how Jesus was. This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. That's what I want him to say concerning me. I am pleased in you. Forget about the battles, the warfares. Get his approval and see if the way will not be paved for you. Get his approval and see if the highway will not be graded for you to pass. Sosiko bresko falaito kopemala esko buroske sasiko peminande. When you begin to prioritize, I was speaking with my brother Tolu, and we're talking about an ancient prophetic order in Nigeria that some of our fathers walked in, and I was telling him that it is only that order that I don't know their technology. But I showed him the context from whence all prophetic ministry derive. I showed him the counsel of God. That's the quadrant of divinity, the conclave of the Godhead. It was in that counsel of God that the policy, let us make man, came from. And there are other policies that came from the counsel of God. So when you hear a man's prophetic delivery, you should be able to tell what counsel he's coming from. Because if all he has is a gift, are you there? The prophetic moves from a gift into a government. The texture of a man's prophetic capabilities is tied to the counsel from whence he operates. You must have seen in the book of Revelation several times that God will be in the company of these four living creatures. Have you seen that before? That's the council of angels. Because angels are in the administrative artery of the implementation of the plans of God. In fact, one of the assignments of a watchman is to know what errands angels are carrying, because that is suggestive of the policies that have been decreed from the throne room. Then I found out, when I was opportune to shake the last of the order of prophets in that priesthood yesterday, as I shook him, I saw where he was operating from. I saw that they operate from the council of angels. And that's why there's a lot of angelic encounter around. The order of prophet that you are will determine, is that the counsel you speak from that determines the order of prophet that you are. What you are allowed to see, where you are allowed to stand in the realm of the spirit, will determine the kind of message you can bring. And do you know that God never takes any man into his counsel that is not pleasing to him? The day of prophets as gifts, that day has passed. And you can give a word of knowledge and maybe probably call somebody's phone number. We are talking about policies coming from heaven that will determine what God will do in the earth, the patterns to expect, the strategies that have been adopted. Those comes from councils in the heavens. Only men that are pleasing to him can be brought into those quarters. My time is spent and I need wants to give the prophet a window to bring counsel to us. That is in his prophetic ministry. Now see, before I come down from this place, in the book of Revelation chapter 1, in Revelation chapter 1 verse 4, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace from him which is, which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. You know, if you read the apostolic writings of John, or it is in the nature of apostolic writings for the apostles to begin with a salutation. Many times, if you can decipher that salutation, you will understand a lot about the context from whence the speakings have come. But in the case of John, in the book of Revelation on the Isle of Patmos, instead of him to bring us greetings from places on earth, he begins to bring us salutations from places in the heavens. So he brings greetings to us. He brings grace and peace. And the one from whom he brings grace and peace is the one that was, the one that is, and the one that is to come. So part of the counsel that he brought to us came from mouth to mouth spoken words from the lips of Jesus the Eternal. He brings greetings to us from where? From the 7 spirits which are before his throne. That's what I mean by government. See, but because the spirits before his throne, are you with me? You are not with me. There are 7 spirits before his throne. And so when he sits on the throne and he issues decrees, this is what I want to do. Those 7 spirits before his throne, they're going to the earth to begin to implement the decrees that. So that's what I mean when I say the council of heaven. Are you there? So those are the agencies, the manifestations of the Spirit of God that will be moving into the earth for implementation. It is from that point that we have the judging lamps, new levels of discernment coming, so that even though this person is preaching with the right scriptures, saying the right things, the spirit by which he's saying it did not come from before that throne. You still remember the believers that were going to Emmaus? When Jesus vanished from their sight, they said something. Did not our heart burn? Those are the judging lamps. That burning is from there. Because if you go to chapter 5, you are going to find that those 7 spirits are 7 judging lamps to increase discernment in the heart of his faithfuls when darkness begins to cover the earth. So our salvation to navigate accurately in the end time when darkness begins to come is those prophets that receive directly from the councils. So I've been studying the ministry of the great prophet Babalola, the things he did, the kind of miracles he did. Basically, he preached salvation. So the strength of his stature was not revealed in his message. The strength of his stature was revealed in his encounters and the things that he could do by the powers that were available to him. He pleased God. So what God did to him was that he brought him into the council. One of the things that God does to you when you please him is that you become not. You are not. You are taken from among men and brought into the council. It's just like somebody takes you from his living room through his dining room, you navigate through the kitchen, then through the corridor, then he takes you to the bedroom, and then he tells you something. He would have been able to tell you that thing in the sitting room, but everybody there will hear it. Or he takes you to where people don't come. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to operate from. I now showed Tolu where we operate from. That one I will not say it to the public. It belongs to us. I said, Tolu, this is where we operate. That is why we're in custody of revelatory powers. It is because of the counsel he has brought us. If I hear you talk, I know whether you are coming from this, our place. I've been there for a while, so I know how the thing sounds there. It is because of that place where I stand. That was where I was able to trace that this brother is playing from the market. But although you might be seeing him, he's in the market. I showed you. I had to call my brother, Prophet Ayo. I said, I just finished a conference now. Someone that is considered as a great prophet of Nigeria was the one talking. And because of the time I've spent in the labor of the scriptures, are you there? When people talk, it's not their words I hear. I want to know the instrument by which they speak and where it is coming from. So I saw that he had a very rich volume of the river of inspiration in his belly. But I did not see his feet in the council of heaven. Unfortunately, I did not see his feet in the. Maybe he was there at some point, but at the time I met him, he was not talking from him. The way God is going to separate between ministers in this time is from that privilege, and it's only open to those that please God. So the next time you hear Son of Man, it means the man after God's heart. It means the man that has been approved, the man unto whose image all men in the light must conform. I want to stand in the counsel of God. I want to hear the secrets and the decrees that come from his throne. I want to be galvanized by the 7 lambs that burn before him. Let the workings of the administration of spirits that come before him be seen in my life, in my witness, and in my testimony. For that was the true light that lightens every man that cometh into the world. I don't want to walk in darkness. I don't want to walk in places where common men walk, where the entire generation walks. There are exclusive chambers of privilege that he grants unto men. Return, that we might look upon you.
The instruction of the Lord is perfect, renewing one's life. The testimony of the Lord is trustworthy, making the inexperienced wise. Welcome to another series of the Apostles' Teaching.